Hello EFD squad and welcome back to the UCL review where me and Joe take a look at Europe's premier competition. And my oh my, we had a couple of games on our hands last night, didn't we? Starting with Tottenham versus Dortmund.
Oh, Tottenham made it 4 wins on the bounce, battering Borussia Dortmund. I say battering, maybe a little bit harsh, but comfortably beating Dortmund. Yes. 3-0 at Wembley, scoring 3 goals in 2 consecutive games, even without star man Harold Kane, and of course, midfield dynamo Dele Alli. Dortmund not on the best form though, coming into this game, are they? Drawn the previous 3 and conceded 7 in those matches. But in doing so, Tottenham Hotspur actually became the first English team to beat a German side in the knockout stage of the Champions League since 2010-11.
Yeah.
That was United against Schalke. Admittedly, we did beat them 6-1 in the semi-final. And that was kind of a battery.
What are Schalke doing in the semi-final?
I don't know, but they did beat, I believe Schalke beat Inter Milan 7-3 in the quarters.
Deservedly so then.
Deservedly so. I think the first half was on a knife edge.
Yes.
It was fairly even, but Borussia Dortmund had the better of the chances. Jadon Sancho was doing absolute bits. He turned Davinson Sanchez into a handbag at one stage, didn't he? They had 3 shots on target, I believe, in the first 45 minutes. Spurs had a big fat 0, and in that time, such as Jadon Sancho's importance to BVB, I think he completed 3 dribbles in the first half.
He was so tidy in the build-up, isn't he? Little flicks and tricks. What a gorgeous player.
I know, but in the second half, Pochettino made some really interesting in-game adjustments, particularly at half-time, showed his class as a tactician, moved Jan Vertonghen higher at the pitch, didn't he? Dropped Christian Eriksen
like a chess master.
Slightly deeper. Just really, really smart pieces of work, and it worked perfectly. Jan Vertonghen obviously scoring and assisting for just the second time in his entire career. Super Jan was unplayable on the night. The other unplayable man, one of my favourite Premier League players, probably the best Premier League player right now, Heun-min Son.
Oh.
Incredible, 16 goals in his last 12 games for Tottenham Hotspur. That's 11 goals and 5 assists. Spurs have won every single match he's scored in. He cannot be stopped. How do you stop him? He's taken the mantle of 3 players on his own shoulders and gone, yeah, fuck it, give me the ball and I'll score.
Yeah.
He loves playing against Dortmund
What
as well.
about that ball from Vertonghen though? Oh my God.
Oh
He's
yeah,
put
it's gorgeous.
It on an absolute sixpence
You know you're a good manager when you've turned Jan Vertonghen into Gareth Bale at half-time team talk.
I know, the actual decision to play him at left back before raised a few eyebrows at left wing back, and putting Foyth back in a back 3 was a big vote of confidence for the young man, wasn't it? But I agree with you to an extent. I think he's the most informed player in the Premier League at current. Yeah. Technically, absolutely outstanding, goes without saying. I think in terms of natural ability, Hazard, maybe Sterling are still better. But what he offers to that Spurs side when they're ravaged by injury is tactical versatility, and that is pretty much irreplaceable, isn't it?
True.
I'll play anywhere along that front line. Poch, I can play on the wing, I can be your 9, I'll be your false 9. Son is the man, isn't he? And like you said, he loves playing against Dortmund. His opener, which was actually Spurs' first shot on target in the 46th minute, was his 8th goal in 10 matches against the BVB. And it's not just Son. Tottenham absolutely love playing Borussia Dortmund. They're quickly becoming the Germans' European booby team. Dortmund have now lost 5 Champions League matches since the start of last season, 3 of them coming against the Lily Whites. They've also conceded. They also conceded more last night, than they did in 6 group matches.
Okay.
3-2. So been defensively very sound in the Champions League in what was a tough group. But recently, like Joe said, shipped 3 goals against Hoffenheim when they went 3-0 up. I also believe, a loss in the cup as well, and
obviously 3 last night as well against Tottenham Hotspur. Their defence just looking a little bit suspect, maybe a little bit tired.
I mean, we did say this, that Zagadou, that Diallo, they've got a young defence, and as the season goes on, they might tire, not used to these physically demanding 50, 60 game seasons. And their, mentality, they might be getting jaded upstairs. But alas, let's get back to the game, because things are going your way when Fernando Llorente is scoring the 3rd goal to no reply at home. It's the first time he's come off the bench for Spurs and scored in 34 appearances, which is weird because you in your head, you think he's a useful impact substitution should they want to mix it up tactically. And not really been doing that, but for a 33-year-old, he's contributing at the top level, probably how you'd expect. I think maybe sometimes people are a little bit harsh on old Fernando. That was his 7th goal of the season in all competitions. He's now got as many UCL goals as league goals. That was his first goal in the Champions League knockout stages too. Of course, played European football with Bilbao, with Juventus, but maybe not in the latter stages of the Champions League. Spurs pretty much got their awards for an outstanding second half. Like you said, the first half, cagey, and Dortmund had 4 efforts on target. I mean, most of them rudimentary saves.
Although there was the one really good save from the header.
Yeah.
It's a camera save, I think a little bit. It's not a David Seaman versus Sheffield United in the FA Cup, but it is nonetheless a fantastic save.
Foyth does really well to put, I think it was Zagadou off at the back post as well, doesn't he? He gets a little touch of his head, takes the pace off the ball. But Spurs' second half producing almost 3 more opportunities than they did in the first half. So they had 11 shots, 15 in total, 11 of them coming in the second 45. Only conceded 2 after the break as well. So really took the sting out of that counter-attack that was threatening to ravage them before. Also, I guess when their fullbacks dropped a little bit, it meant that they weren't under as much pressure as the first half with Dortmund's press, because there was a few errors, wasn't there, early doors. Foyth being caught out by Pulisic, and they nearly went ahead as a result of that. But expected goals has this down as 2-0.4 in Spurs' favour. So a deserved victory, maybe one more goal than the balance of play would dictate. But this might prompt Favre to bring back the big guns, Royce and Paco Alcácer, for the return leg, of course. Not making the starting 11 this time round. And we've had a bit of a debate in the office this morning. Spurs fans naturally pessimistic.
Okay.
Always expecting something Spursy to happen. So they're not overly confident about securing this result. But I just think
they'll score away from home, and I think that'll be tie over.
Yeah, that's not the mentality that Poch's players have been displaying over the last 4 or 5 years, is it?
Yeah.
I mean, that slip up against Juventus came against a very good Juventus team. It was only a 1-goal deficit, I believe. So I think they'll definitely see this out, in my opinion.
Yeah, I actually agree. I think Tottenham will see it out. I do think they'll struggle at the Westfalenstadion, but for me, if Harry Kane is back, they will score a goal. And that's all they need to do. 1 goal. I don't see them conceding 4. That Tottenham Hotspur defence is good enough not to concede 4 on the road.
Yeah.
And also, I seriously think that BVB are prioritising the Bundesliga over the Champions League. I think Lucien Favre is looking at the competition going, we're probably not going to win that, and this is our shot at winning a Bundesliga title.
Yep.
So maybe going into the second leg, he thinks to himself, 3-0, probably not going to be overturned. I'm still going to keep my eggs in the Bundesliga basket.
Kovac might be licking his lips at this point, though. That's exactly what he would have wanted from that tie, for Borussia Dortmund's confidence to be knocked even further after those tricky sort of league ties, league and cup ties. So will the wheels come off Dortmund's title challenge in February? Let us know in the comments below.
Moving on then to our next big match, Aiex versus Real Madrid. This was set to be an epic, Hamill.
I think most of the neutrals wanted Aiex to win, but accepted that Real Madrid just get the business done time after time, grinding out results at this stage of the competition. And when Aiex played so well and got so little in return, it felt almost inevitable. The disappointment was tangible, wasn't it? And Real Madrid ultimately did run out 2-1 winners, not deserved winners, against Aiex at the Johan Cruyff Arena, inflicting Ajax's first home loss of the season. Now, despite such a strong home record, it will come as no surprise given that Ajax are winless in their last 6 UCL knockout games at home. In fact, Madrid faced 11 shots alone in the opening 45. Yeah. That is the most shots they've faced in the first half this season. And maybe we haven't seen a vintage rear guard from Real Madrid in 18-19, but they've really turned it around in the last 7 or 8 games under Solari, haven't they? So he won't be happy with that display at all. Hakim Ziyech, the man who's probably ready for a move at this point. The most key passes in the Eredivisie. He's been their chief creator this season, outstanding domestically, and he's finally getting to grips with European competition too. So he hit the post, he finished off that nice little pressing move into the far left corner, and great on the defensive end too. So 12 ball recoveries. He also had 6 shots, 5 take-ons, the most shots on target with 3, scoring 1 goal, which, if I remember correctly, might be his first in the Champions League in around 30 attempts, counting qualifiers. So he's coming of age now, and I think he deserves a big move. I think teams should be in for him in a big way in the summer. But in a lot of ways, typical Real Madrid of late, sort of weathering the storm, Joe.
Yeah, I think Tottenham would be a really good location for Hakim Ziyech's next move. Another bit of attacking talent to add to the already bolstered roster. But yeah, let's talk about Real Madrid, because it was typical, wasn't it? They've now won 6 of their last 7 away knockout games in the Champions League.
Relentless.
Just imperious on the road. And they've lost Ronaldo, who was such a big goal threat, but they have gained Vinicius Jr., who is finding some fantastic form of late. This was his first Champions League knockout game. Coincidentally, he actually became the youngest Real Madrid player ever to play at this stage of the competition, which I thought was quite an interesting fact. He obviously produced that brilliant assist for Karim Benzema. Dancing feet, his 8th assist of the season. That's more than any Real Madrid player already. Not bad for his kind of breakout season at Los Blancos, is it?
Yeah, on the wing.
Yeah, exactly. Benzema as well, we have to talk about him because that finish was absolutely emphatic. That's his 60th Champions League goal, making him the 4th highest scorer in the competition's history, which is not bad.
He's arrested that downturn a little bit, hasn't he, this season?
Yeah, a little bit. I think only ahead of him is Raul, Ronaldo and Messi, which is not too bad company, is it? But like you said, he's arrested the negative form, and he loves playing against Aiex as well. He's got 4 goals or assists in his last 4 games against the Amsterdam side. His form in 2019 has been dramatically improved. I believe he's the top scoring La Liga player in all competitions alongside Leo Messi. I think they've both got 8, something like that already. He's actually got 19 in all competitions for Madrid this season. That's already 7 better than last season.
Yeah,
last
season was not a good year for him, was it?
Which was not a good season for Benzema. But if he finishes this season on 25 to 30 goals, for a 31, 32-year-old, we're looking at that as being a pretty outstanding campaign for someone of his profile.
Done a stoic job in between Real Madrid finding a new, prolific forward. He's kind of holding it all together at the moment, isn't he? And Vinicius Jr., I think in 2 or 3 years' time, it's going to be Vinicius Jr. versus Mbappe.
Oh, I'd throw Ousmane Dembele into the mix there as well. I think it is going to be a battle for that type of player, that sort of really pacey,
apex of
wide
football
man that can also play up top. Let's also talk about Sergio Ramos, because he was at his house best last night, making his 600th appearance for Real Madrid and deliberately getting carded so he doesn't have to pay in the second leg against Aiex.
Can you imagine his reaction when Solari said, "Go out there, get a yellow on purpose, please"? I bet he was frothing.
Yeah.
I bet he was absolutely delighted.
Yeah, I agree.
Bet he got a little chub on.
Probably not. But equally, he's getting himself banned for the second leg against Aiex, which they're probably going to win fairly comfortably, because that then leaves him free for the quarterfinals, whoever they face. Either way, a classic Real Madrid display, and I hate to say we told you so, but I mean, we literally told you so on Hot Takes.
Oh, it's bloody boring. Real Madrid beat Aiex again. That is all for UCL review this week, and I'm absolutely spitting because it's Valentine's Day. I'm taking the girlfriend out, but Celtic are playing Valencia at 8 o'clock. So if you can provide me with a live update of the game on Twitter, that'd be very much appreciated. We'll be back next week with the UCL review, but until then, Joe, what's happening?
Not too much that I can think of off the top of my head. Maybe Stat Wars, the champions, Bobby Seagull versus Doogie Critchley. A battle of the intellects coming soon. So make sure you keep your eyes peeled for that. Also, shout out, everybody reminded it was Marco Van Ginkel yesterday in the comments. Because the comment section was a madness.
Did my comment Van Ginkel bang?
I did see, it did get quite a few likes. Yeah.
Not Redhead Redemption levels.
Not Redhead Redemption levels, but nearly 100, I think.
Oh, decent.